Fashion people, hello, hello. My name is Gabriel Baradee. I am fashion designer since more than 17 years now. I have a big store in Vienna. I'm the pioneer of sustainability in fashion in Austria. And I think sustainability is absolutely dead. Or is it not? I would like to talk a little bit from my daily view as a shop owner of a sustainable fashion brand. In my opinion, at the moment, there is a huge trend towards second-hand. And as a fashion designer, I'm of course a bit skeptic if sustainability and second-hand is the only choice you can make. There can be a lot of criticism in second-hand. Of course, a lack of quality, for example. And if we only use second-hand, then of course the job as a designer would be completely irrelevant, because you don't need to design stuff new, you don't need all the industry that's around us, so pattern maker, embroidery maker, whatsoever, fabric dealers, assistants, and pattern cutter, productions, finishings, and so on and so on and so on. So a lot of industry is connected to a fashion brand, also to a small fashion brand. And this is the criticism. On the other hand side, there are a lot of positive things you could mention for sustainability in fashion, like circular economy. Things get a longer lifetime span and so on. So you have less emissions, of course. I'm very torn apart, let's put it that way. I think, from my personal view, second-hand should be or is or can be a little part from the whole sustainable range we can offer, but it's not, absolutely not the only choice. It's also a matter of fact, because I just had a very interesting talk with my assistant, and she also brought up it's also a matter of fact what you are doing with the second-hand. Are you doing something new out of it, for example? Of course, then you need maybe to be a fashion designer, or you can style it perfectly with new garments. It is a very intense topic that we are discussing here. It can be very positive for sustainability aspects, but I think it's not the only one we should rely on. This is my personal opinion. What is the big problem we are facing here? It's obviously the awareness of the worth of clothing and the making and of fashion. This is a very important topic, because if we are aware that making clothes is difficult, we would value the worth of our shirt, of our garments, of our dresses, and so on and more. Maybe we would take more care then, and so on. So this is a very, very important topic. Also, as a fashion designer, we have to point it out that what we do has a value, and also the most of the time we only value the garment itself, but not the what's behind it. So the whole way of making it, our experience in designing clothes, and so on. So this is very important. You always have to remember that. So the biggest problem we are facing here is the awareness for the worth of clothing and all the making of it. In my daily life as a shop owner and as a fashion designer, I see a trend that a lot of people are also complaining about pricings. Of course, an individual fashion brand has a completely different price range as a super fast fashion chain. In my shop, I have my shop for a long time. So like 10 or 5 years ago, I had maybe once every 3 months somebody who said, okay, I will think about it, which was clear to it's a bit too expensive, which had nothing to do with the design or quality or the fitting of the garment and so on. So it was more or less the price, the problem. And nowadays we have nearly every day somebody who says, this is too expensive. Like, the people are telling this in your face. So maybe also I made it not clear that this is something precious, valuable product. It's maybe my fault, but We hear this a lot more and a lot often nowadays. I have to make a little criticism here also. For us fashion designers, we need to make more clear that a worthy product we're selling. We're selling not like something that you consume and throw away the next day. This is our mission to do that, or my mission is, at least. Let's put it that way. So a lot of people are complaining, and of course there are thousands of things we could point out, like a recession we're facing and so on, and crisis around the world. But I mean, we have to make sure that fashion has a good value, and that's also our mission as a designer to point that out. Is this only a very tiny small bubble? How can we push this awareness into more public, more mainstream? There are many possibilities that we can do. We can do, of course, like events, like we had a very big zero waste fashion event here in Vienna in my shop, where I gathered more than 12 designers who showed their perspective on zero waste. For example, this is one way we can do it. We can talk, we can make marketing, we can do YouTube videos like this one. So the sustainable fashion scene is a super bubble. It grew a bit, but I have the feeling that the awareness is shrinking. What are your thoughts about that? Am I wrong? What do you think? Is sustainable fashion really in danger? What are your opinions? Please comment. I will read them. I will answer them. See you in the next video.